Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. You are here with Kate and Sam in the morning. Gotta love that advisor training uh, on this wonderful December month. So nice to be with everybody. I can actually say Merry Christmas now to everybody because that's really legit now. So, want to talk about just a couple of things, some quick announcements. One is we're going to be talking about account ownership today and going through uh, some good practices and things that we need to do. But also, I do have the new contesting for next year that we are excited about. I will be sending all of you a copy of what that is and what it looks like here today. So look for that in your email box. We've got a lot of good things coming in that contesting. I think there's a snorkeling trip and a lot of good and different things. So be excited about that. I will send that to you, and we'll kind of talk about that with a little bit within our training today as well. But of course, I'm here again with Fabulous Kate, and we're going to jump in and kind of go over some things that we would like to have you do as you're out with your customers and things like that. So get ready, put your seatbelts on.
All right, guys, it's good to be with you again. We always love these advisor training sessions because I feel like we just get so much useful information, and we get so much good feedback from you guys. So as always, feel free to ask any questions you may have. I'll keep an eye on those as we go, and then we'll of course have some time for a Q&A at the end too. So, all right, so today we're going to be talking about account ownership and what that entails and everything. And I wanted to start off thinking by kind of bringing up this metaphor that Sam and I were talking about that really I think plays out especially at this time of year as we're all starting to go to holiday parties and everything. So the thing I want you to think about, and as you're going through and developing these accounts and having these folks that come on the system and everything, you're the host of the party. And I really want you guys to remember that and treat your customers like they're guests at your party. I found this great quote from Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon.com, and he says, "We see our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better." And so the thing that where I think this relates to you is that, I want you guys to remember that you're the one who all your clients know. You're their primary point of contact. And so while they may talk to the content team or this ops team or things like that, you guys really are like the host of a party. And everybody else is like the guests at a cocktail party who are getting to know one another and may have seen one another at another party before or at another phone call or something. But really, you're the touch point that brings it all together. And just like a host at a party, you're going to be working the room and making sure that as you go along that all your guests are having a good time. You're never going to, a good host isn't going to just sit there in the corner and not go and check in on their guests every now and then. So I want you to keep that metaphor in mind. And even if you take nothing else away from this, think about that and how you need to be checking in with your guests. And, you're always going to be making sure that people have enough to eat or that they have a drink. And that's sort of like making sure that their content is working for them and checking in to be sure that their account is connected okay and everything. So really think about that. Sam was saying he likes the metaphor that essentially the world is your room, right? And you're going to be working that room and making sure all your clients are happy and having a good time at this Social 5 party that we're putting on. So one thing that I think we fall into the trap of is that we think, okay, well, I got the client on, they did the intake, it's all set. I can set it and forget it, right? And that's not really the case. The intake is really the only the beginning, because that's really the start of this relationship that we're going to build with the client. That's hopefully going to be a really long-term relationship. So I want you to keep in mind that about 3 to 5 days after every intake, it's a great idea to give your client a call and just check in with them and make sure everything's on track. Make sure that, they felt like the intake went okay, that they got all the information they needed, all that stuff. You're also going to make sure you ask your customer about a couple of things. You want to ask them about their graphics, if they've had a chance to review those yet. You want to ask them about their email marketing, if they've gotten their contact list over to us. And you want to make sure also that, is there anything that they thought they'd be getting out of the service that isn't covered by their current package? If they went into the intake and they thought they were getting Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but they were only signed up for a package that had 2 social channels, maybe they've thought about it a little bit and maybe they want to add on another social channel or anything like that. So, or maybe they're a little upset because they felt like, they've been sold the wrong thing or something like that. So let's, catch that early on. We want to make sure that we get that to the root of that as soon as we can so that we can adjust their package if needed. When it's still 3 to 5 days out, we're getting the graphics going. We've started writing their content and everything, but we can still make a lot of adjustments there if we need to about what channels they're going to be on, or if they didn't feel like, they got the correct information at the intake interview, if they thought of something else that was really important. Every now and then I'll have clients call us after the intake interview and be like, oh, I didn't think of this while I was on the phone with you, but here's this really important thing that I probably should have told you about like my closest competitor or something like that, right? So anything that they might have left out, anything like that is a good thing to check up on. The thing I want you guys to remember here is that, we have this 14-day on-ramp process. But the thing is that really only works if the customer responds to our requests. So many times they get hung up in that their graphics aren't done, and, John has worked with the graphics team, gotten them all ready, and he sent them emails and said, and given them a call and said, hey, your graphics are ready. I just wasn't sure if you'd had a chance to look at those yet. And they just don't answer or whatever. And that really can bog down the process of getting their channels up and running. So, again, it's that idea of the host at the party where John, this other guest at the party, can talk to them as much as they want about graphics, but you're their primary point of contact. And so they're much more likely to answer a phone call from you or realize that an email from you is important or whatever, versus, sometimes they may have never heard of John, the graphics guy, or, whoever their account manager is or whatnot. So that's something really, really follow up on that and make sure they're staying on top of things, because the customer sometimes tends to think the intake is the end as well and that everything will be taken care of.
And that's a great point. Also, just even helping them realize where the emails are coming from or what the titles are. They'll receive an email from Social Find that says design work is ready for a look. So just help them remember or help them look for those type of emails. Even if you, at the very beginning of the sales process, if you can help them with that, that will be light years ahead.
Yeah, super, super helpful. And again, that will really help so that they're, a lot of times we end up with like content ready to go and everything, and we're missing one thing, like they had forgotten their password and they were going to get back to us after the intake interview and they never did. So we can't get their account connected because we don't have that, password and login information to their Facebook account or something like that, right? So just make sure that they got, right after the intake, a couple days, make sure that they got us everything that we needed there. Next time I want you to follow up with folks is after the congratulations comes through, email comes through. Once their accountant's up and running, we just want to make sure that everything's running smoothly. So they'll get this congratulations email here. I've copied one that Candace sends out. It's got links to all their social channels, depending on what they are. It's got a thing about Social Find University, lets them know that they can reach out to the ops team and schedule a demo call if they want to, and whatnot. So you guys are going to be CC'd on these emails for your accounts. Any account that you sell, you'll get this email coming through. This is also a great chance to ask for referrals. And I think Sam wanted to say a few things about that. But the one thing about asking for referrals, guys, is remember to only do it if they're happy with the service. We've had a few people run into a bit of trouble where the person was like, this is terrible and it totally wasn't what I expected. And they're like, oh, great. Can I have some referrals? And then it just makes the person even more angry. So,
Right. And really, the whole point of this whole process is back to Kate's very beginning. You are the host at the party. Say somebody has spilt red wine on their favorite dress, right? You will know about that specifically before anything else happens. So when you're going back in and asking for referrals, you are knowing that they're already okay and that they're in a good place. Typically, when the service goes live, they are very happy with what they're seeing. They're happy with the content that is being posted out there. And then the operations team gives them a call and goes through the process of helping them become familiar with their tools. But this is also a time where I really want you guys to focus on going back in as the advisor, because you are the advisor to them. You are the point of contact and the host, right? So when you go back in, you're also reaffirming those same training pieces that operations just went through with them on their tools. So you're going to show them how to use the tools as well. Now, on the tools, we will cover something here that I want everybody to see or know about when we go through this. But I'm going to hold off on that because we're going to hit that in another slide here in just a little bit.
and we've got a question here that is that can we be CC during the on-ramp process so we know where we are in the process? I think so, Sam.
They do
usually CC you, yeah.
Yeah, they do CC you on the design process as far as where your clients are, if the designs are waiting to be approved. You don't want to reply to those emails or things like that, but operations does CC you on your accounts to make sure that is taking place and that's happening.
Yeah, and then a lot of the stuff is happening behind the scenes, right? We're not telling the client about the writers that we're interviewing to write for their account or things like that. So that's going to be all taking place kind of behind the scenes and is not going to go out to the client. But the things like the graphics and stuff like that, anything that involves the client, you should already be CC'd on. If you're not, let me know and we'll figure it out. Maybe we have the wrong email address that you or something like that.
Right.
So, but Sam brought up a really great point here. And the whole point of this, right, is that you want to be in contact with your clients so that if something is going wrong, we can fix it early on. We don't want to have someone come on or who we haven't heard from in months and they suddenly call us and go, gosh, I've been on your service for 3 months. I felt like you never hit the mark on your content. It was never done well and I'm quitting this service. We want to get them right here at the beginning where we're like, hey, how's it going? Your account's up and running, looks like it's going great. And if they're like, yeah, I haven't really loved the content so far, or, yeah, I just don't really feel like I got the right package or something along those lines, we want to know it in advance so that we can work with them and help them now early on before they're just fed up and ready to quit. And, because if we don't hear from them sometimes, because we're reaching out to them all the time too, right? From the content team and the ops team and everything. If we don't hear from them, we just have to assume that it's all going okay because they're not complaining and we've tried to reach out to them. But if we don't hear anything back, we're kind of, we don't have any option there. But again, you're the host, you're the one that they know, and they're much more likely to respond to an email from you. Even if it's just like, checking in to say like, hey, have you send over any custom post ideas for the content team to put together? I know you're having a big event coming up. You should let the content team know about it. Something like that, they're going to respond to you better than they do to Kate or Candace or anybody else who might be reaching out to them.
And just remember when you're doing that too is the point that you want to stay in contact with that client is because you are also looking for places where we can also help them on a much larger scale. So make sure that you focus on that, because if all of you guys are doing your assessment forms on the companies before you're going in, or you're getting a good idea, where their holes are, and maybe in their budget, in their marketing budget, they can only afford social media. But remember, we want them to get up and looking good, or we want them to be seen first and localized. So wherever you start, whether or not you start with directories and SEO pieces, we should be adding social media to that piece, months down the road. So always look at that.
All right. So the other thing we want you to keep in mind, we've kind of outlined these two hard deadlines that we think you should be touching base with folks on, but we really want you to keep in touch with them on an ongoing basis throughout, their entire relationship with Social 5. So the one thing that we really want you to make sure of is that they're in your email marketing contacts. Make sure that all the clients that you sell are on that mailing list and are getting those monthly email blasts from you. The other thing is that you want to reach out personally anytime we have a new product launch that might help them. We've got so many products and things like that coming out now, and new things happening all the time that, someone who's been doing our social media service for a long time could really benefit from something like SEO or listings or, some of the other great products that we have. And if you have hopefully you're in tune to your clients. You've done that form, so you kind of know what their needs are. Hopefully that one of those new products will present itself as a good opportunity for them. And then it's an upsell for you, right? So many of these folks are like, gosh, I would just rather go like with a one-stop shop if I could versus, doing SEO with someone else and social media with you. If I can just pay one bill every month, that's really nice, So there's a convenience factor there of getting in touch with them when there's a new product. And it also just shows like, hey, I was thinking about you and this specific product caught my eye and it seemed like it might be helpful to you in your business. And just really shows that you care about them and that, you kind of had them in mind. And everyone likes to feel like that they're getting the individual attention that they need. And then again, just check in every few months to see how they're doing. Maybe have your folks on a rotating basis where, once or twice a week, you just sit down and make a quick phone call to one of your existing clients and just try and touch base with a few of them each week and see how they're doing. If they have any questions or comments or anything, put them in touch with the Social 5 team. If they're like, well, gosh, I changed my password a few months ago and I haven't been getting content or something, hop on there and be like, let's call Candace together and get that fixed or whatever, let's, give them the tools that they need so that they can be happy with the service. Because again, no matter how many times we reach out to them, sometimes they just don't ever respond, to the content team or the ops team or things like that. And they're going to trust you more because you have that existing relationship. Whoops. The last thing on here is make sure they know how to reach our customer support. And so that's the next slide I wanted to talk about, is just making sure that they know how to reach us. We've got these 2 hotline email addresses that work really well. And I just kind of wanted to go through both of them and talk about, which one goes, what stuff goes through which address. So if, there's going to be a list here of what goes under support and what goes under content. So for support, you're going to contact that email address with any technical issues. If they were having trouble connecting with their account, anything like that is difficult. If their microsite doesn't seem to be working, whatever it might be that's a technical aspect, support is going to be the first person you want to contact. You're also going to want to contact them about any account connection problems you may be having. If they've changed their password. That is like, I cannot even tell you how many times we get that one where people have changed their Facebook password and they don't think to tell us, and then they come out and they're like, I haven't gotten any content posted on my page for 2 weeks. And that's always the first thing I ask them is, well, did you change your password recently? And they usually say, oh yeah. And I say, well, you can do that as often as you want, but you do need to let us know when you've changed that password. Otherwise, we lose access to your account. So anything like that, connection that's being weird, stuff like that, go ahead and contact support@social5.com. Any billing issues that they may be experiencing. We do sometimes get clients who are a little unclear on, like if they thought they were paying per month, but they actually signed up to pay annually or something like that. They're like, why is there this huge charge on my credit card? Or, maybe their credit card's been declined because it expired or something like that. Any of those types of things, the ops team can help you with. And then the other one is graphics issues. If they want to change out their photos, or they want to, we've had several people who are like, I'm completely rebranding my whole company. I need all new graphics and stuff like that. Support is going to be the email address for that. Now, content is going to be just for content-related questions. We're the writing team. We are not technical wizards. We're very good at a very small area of what this does. So anytime they have a custom post request, send that over to content. They've got a grand opening, they've got something they want to send out for Christmas, anything like that, send it over to that content@social5.com and we'll take care of it.
And also just remember too, they are receiving twice a month outreaches from the content side. And
right.
It does have that content@social5.com email address to it. So they should be aware of that. They should know that, but sometimes it is confusing. What we were trying to do is just mitigate that confusion. We want them to realize anything for technical issues, support, but anything as far as content goes, that definitely goes to the content team.
Mm-hmm.
As a default, always, if there's any type of confusion, just have them send it to the support@social5,
yeah,
and they'll direct it.
We'll
to
figure
the right
out where it needs to go. And the other thing with the content email addresses, we do run into a thing every now and then where people are like, well, no, I want the contact information for my specific writer. And the problem is that the writer on your account may change depending on what's going on, or you may have more than one writer for your account, depending on what types of content you're getting. Some of our accounts have like 5 or 6 people writing each different content stream that is appearing on their page, because they have several different, they want recipes and home decor and real estate tips and so our home decor writer is not the same person as our real estate writer, right? So they, by sending it to this content@social5, that way we can figure out exactly who the person is they need to talk to, and we can get in touch with them and let them know. Custom email requests too. Again, we reach out to folks twice a month from this email address and tell them, hey, do you have any custom posts you want us to do? Do you have any email requests? But people still forget. We have this one client who complains every month that he wanted to approve his email first. And we're like, we sent you a bunch of emails saying, do you have anything you want us to put in your email? And he never responds. So, just make sure
and help them understand that, look, you are going to have some reach out twice a month. So please watch for those emails if there is anything. And really what it comes down to is it is just a reminder, because all of us get busy. All of us are working at a million miles an hour. And just that little reminder so that we can kind of have that tinge in our brain that says, oh yeah, I need to do that, or yes, I need to watch for that email. It's just helpful.
Yeah, and again, they don't have to respond by any means. I mean, some people get really into it, and we have some people who, have a custom thing
Are
they want every
perfectly-
time, and then others are perfectly content with what they got, and they
Absolutely.
never respond at all. But that's the problem, is that if they're not responding, we can only assume that they're happy.
Yes.
And so that's what we're asking for your help in that regard, is to,
Is
to make sure they
sure.
really are happy. And the other thing with the content at Social 5, if they have any issues with what is being posted on their page, if they don't like the tone, they feel like we're kind of missing the mark or whatever, email that content, they can change it. That's something that I don't think our clients understand as well as I wish they did, is that, you're not locked into a content stream. If it's not suiting your needs, we totally can change it. And we're happy to do that for them. So have them shoot a message over to content, or you can do it for them, and we'll have the proper editor reach out, and we can retweak their strategy if we need to. So I'm going to let Sam talk about this one a little bit, just about, because there's some kind of cool tools on your microsite that can help kind of with this account ownership and with giving some other people a little bit of a boost and everything. So Sam, do you want to go ahead and talk about these?
So this is what I was alluding to a little earlier when I was talking to you. When you go back into your clients, and operations goes through these tools with the client to kind of show them what there is, how they function, all of those types of things. But you going back in and really reaffirming what this tool does and how it functions is monumental. I mean, this is huge and a great plus for your clients as well as it is for you, because what I'm thinking of is making sure that this is a tool that you are utilizing as well. So let's look at when you go back in. What I want you to do is I want you to show the individuals their mobile suite. If you can, I would love to have you show them on your laptop or on an iPad itself. The reason why is because what we want to do is we want to highlight this spot of recommendations. Here are our recommendations. These recommendations are for other places for them to have links to businesses that they do work with and they have good relationships with. There is a spot here for 10 businesses if they want to put that many. But the big thing about this is that is really your leads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an easy way to ask for leads instead of just coming out and asking, do you know of anybody else that could utilize our service or things like that. What you're doing is you're going, hey, who do you do a lot of business with, or who do you like, or what restaurants, whatever it is, and you're going to add and have them list those for you. You're going to get the URLs, and you can send that to the operations team and have them put that on their mobile site. But then those are your next contacts. Now those are definitely warm leads because those are people that are already benefiting from the service.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you want to really highlight that, and you really want to say, look, hey, I'd like to put these in here on your site for you. That's going to help you, but in the end, really, it's helping you.
And the cool thing about this is that it has kind of more than one layer of helpfulness for you. So you're going to get warm leads by asking your client who they want featured on their site, right? That's going to help, who they recommend. But then the other cool thing is that you can put your clients on your mobile site, and you can rotate through, or, every time you sign someone new, switch out for someone old or something. But put them on there and say, like, hey, I'm going to feature you on my microsite as, my preferred person for home loans, or, whatever it is they do that the client has I'm sorry, guys, the client has, you've sold whatever they do. So you can, also give them a shout out on your microsite, but then you're also collecting leads from their microsite. And so it's really cool and works kind of in concert together that way. That's really cool. The other thing you can do if you want is you can add a button to the navigation bar up here on top. You can link to one of your own web properties straight from that bar on your microsite. You just need to provide us with the name and the link. So if you want to include like your free social assessment tool on your mobile site or things like that, so that you can use that while you're out and about, or that you can give out your microsite to folks and it links back to your website and things like that. That's an option too. So the microsite is really a powerful tool, and I don't think we use it nearly as much as we could to maximize its value.
And the reason why I bring this up, in case in point, and you guys have maybe heard this or heard me say this before, but you have to remember, if you guys can see my arrow, is these links right here are very crucial. So what happens is I want you to go into your businesses and I want you to tell them, look, I want you to have all your employees put and save this icon onto their phone. Okay, because when the employees or they are out and about or in groups, especially at this time of year, for example, we have many parties that we're invited to, that we're going to either with our friends or spouses, whatever it might be. And in conversation, people are either always asking, well, what do you do? And this is a time where you pull out your phone and say, for example, Matt, for example, our marketing director, he was at a party, and just in conversation, there was somebody that was invited to the party that was from out of town, but they were moving in. And what happened is he took that, he said, oh, and the guy said, does anybody know of a good realtor or anything like that? And Matt says, yeah, I have a friend that could help you out. He took out his phone, clicked his friend's icon on his phone, typed in that individual's email address right here, and hit join. That individual received an automatic email bounce back, right? And then Matt took it one step further and he hit this little envelope from that person's mobile site. He clicked that and said, hey, this individual is just from out of town. I just sent him your contact information. Look for a call from him. That individual called, and he was so excited because, one, he felt like Matt's friend was so on the ball when really it was our technology that was really helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he also thought really highly of Matt because he took the time to do that. So this is just a leverage point and a way to really help your customers and also help yourselves with referrals. So all of you should have your family and friends have this mobile site saved on their icon, and anytime they're talking with somebody and social media comes up, they should pull that out, click the icon, type in an email address, and boom, now they're connected. They're in your database. They're going to receive something once a month.
Mm-hmm.
So please remember that and utilize this mobile site.
All right. So the last thing we want you to do, this is kind of a little bit of a take-home message here. We want you to remember the words of our fearless leader.
And our CEO of Social 5 Development Group, wonderful Chris Kenny.
Chris doesn't know that we put this slide together, but you guys can all print it out and use it as a motivational poster on your wall or something if you want. But this was something Chris said to me the other day, and I thought it really rang true. He said, every contact you make ends up being either a customer or a future customer. Sooner or later, you're bound to find a problem of theirs that you can solve. And again, that goes back to kind of that idea of being the host at the party. Even if someone has, you've tried to sell them Social 5 in the past or something, or social media services, they may still have a need that you can fulfill. So don't ever write anybody off as, oh, well, they're just aren't interested or whatever. they're just a future customer, as Chris would say. They're not a customer now, but everybody else is a future customer. And, again, if you're checking in with them every now and then, you don't want to be obnoxious about it, obviously. But again, think of that idea as you're the host of the party. You're reaching out, when you notice that you have something, a new product or something that might fit their needs or whatever, reach out to them and try and just keep that contact, check in every now and then, even if it's just keeping them on your monthly email blast list. So it looks like we have a few questions, so we'll go ahead and move to the Q&A section here. So this is a really good question. Which email address do we send new package agreements to and any additions to their email list?
That is a great question. So you would send that to Vanessa at social5.com and Candace at social5.com for new packages. So if you're trying to schedule an intake, a call, those are the two email addresses that you need to send it to. And if you have any questions on that, just send me a little email and I'll put both of their emails in for you so that you'll have that, okay?
And then for additions to their email list, you're totally welcome to send those over to the content side of things. Sherry, who runs she's our project manager on this CRM that we have, and she is the one who's in charge of reaching out to everybody. But she's also in charge of our email program, and so she can totally upload those for you. So feel free to send those. And really, if you send them over to support as well, that's fine. They'll get to where they need to be. But content is probably the best spot to go. We've got someone asking if this is being recorded, and yes, it is. Sam's going to get it posted here soon. So
Yes.
If you missed the beginning, no worries.
That's right.
This is a really good question. We sometimes talk about the micro site and the mobile suite, and are they two different things? And the answer is no, they're the same thing. We just change our minds in the time Sam and I have been here at Social 5, they changed what they call them like 5 times. And so we, either one works, mobile suite,
and
microsite,
and just so
blog, they're all the same thing.
And just so you know, some kind of just a little sneak peek of we do have something that's coming, a surprise for next year that we're excited about. But yes, the branding and the terminology will be set, and we will have some good things moving forward. But for the time being, Mobile Suite is definitely what it really is, because it is an engine itself with that automatic email responder and contains the blog and everything else. So yes, Mobile Suite.
Yeah, hopefully if they change the name again, Sam and I will be able to remember what it is.
Exactly.
I think my problem is I don't ever talk to anyone outside of Social 5 about it very much, and so everyone here knows what I'm talking about, but I need to make that a little clearer.
Yep.
So here's a great question: how many links can be added to our navigation bar? And there can be 10 down the side there. Are you talking about?
He's talking about the ones on the top.
On the top, okay.
So on the top itself, there is room for 5, I believe. But we want to be specific with those because there's contact, there's the home, so that takes up 2 slots already. So really, you only have about 3 slots there available.
Mm-hmm. So this is also a good question. Is there a single page of all the relevant emails that we should be using on an ongoing basis? Do we have that written up somewhere, Sam?
We don't have a single page. I can do a single page, and I'll put that in the Dropbox as well.
We do have that slide back here a little ways that kind of talks about, what's for support and what's for content. Those are probably the 2 main ones, other than Vanessa and Candace, which all you need to send to those ones is the agreements. So.
And that's a good spot, and that's a good reminder. I'll just make that form and then I'll send it out to all of you here today as well.
Great. And last question, will this be posted on the Social 5 University page or on a different page? That is a good question. And it is not going on the Social 5 University page since it's insider info that's just for you guys.
That's right. No, I mean, Kate is awesome, and she does the Social 5 University, but hey, this is proprietary stuff, guys. This is only for your eyes only. So we do have a spot for it and some links on a YouTube channel. And so when they're posted, I will get you those links as well. We're in the process. We have talked about this, and this is also another aha little piece as well. But we do have very, very close on our portal, which all of you will have access to with password. And it will have all of this good information in there for you so that you can go back and review and be able to hit those links and those training pieces as well.
Yeah, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about at our next advisor training, is going through that portal and helping you guys understand how to use it. It's going to be really cool because basically all this stuff that you're finding on Dropbox and on the YouTube page and all that stuff, it's all going to be collected there. And so you can find, your agreements, your any forms that you may need. There's going to be a forum where we can share tips and tricks with one another.
And you won't have to worry about if you have the most current pricing or anything like that, because that's all that will actually be there. So I'm just saying, it's awesome. Okay, I'm just saying, it's awesome.
So make sure you mark your calendar for that. That's on the 17th, I believe. Correct,
yes,
Sam?
Yep.
So that'll be our next advisor training. So let's see. We've got a few more questions here. What other links would be appropriate for the navigation bar versus home, contact us, your M card, social assessment? Really, it can be anything you want. If you have some super cool thing that you want to direct people to, I know some of you sell, other services as well. You could put that in there if you wanted.
Another good link is, videos. Say you had a video, you could have a spot there where you could actually play somebody a video right from your phone if you wanted to. So,
when are the package pricing changes going into effect? Sam, do you know when
that will be?
Is that in January?
Yes, that will be next year. We do have some new things coming out, so. Just let you know that is coming. So and some of you have seen those in Discovery Days and things like that. So they are working on all of those. We're just waiting for complete packages, if you will, that will have good information. We'll have all the material to back it, and you'll be able to brand those with your own personal branding and things like that. So
yeah, I think the new packages are going to be cool. They have kind of more entry points into the service than we currently have. There's more options to start. It's not like everybody has to start with content. It's like, oh, if you don't need content, we can give you this other thing first instead. So, but we do have some training scheduled for those in January. So once those are out, we'll be having another advisor training series, and I think we've even scheduled that one to be like a couple hours long, just so that you guys can get all your questions. We're going to have Rob come in and talk about it. So we'll get you the info you need for that and really make sure you guys are understanding those. So, will a CRM tool like Salesforce be part of the new activities in 2016?
As of yet, we haven't gone that far yet on those specifics. We are looking at some things and having some tools, but the no decision on that.
Yeah, the portal will do a lot of those similar things. And Chris has really been working on making that fairly robust so that you can use it as a tracking tool for, he hopes to eventually add some other things like, tracking your sales and things like that there. So, that is definitely
it's in the
it's
mix.
kind of
It's
headed
just-
that direction.
Right.
Mhm.
Just prioritizing things. So we're working at it.
Mhm.
Let's just put it that way.
So, and yeah, the portal should meet a lot of those needs. So, all right. Any other questions? You guys had some great ones. I love seeing that. It's so much better to come to these than some of the Social 5 University ones where people don't actually ask any questions. So we love getting your questions. So always
That's
feel
right.
free to ask. So,
Well, we want to thank you for another great session today, and hopefully you guys will have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll look for you on the 17th
Yeah.
for sure, because you will want to attend that one. I guarantee you want to attend that one.
that'll be really good. And remember, today's take-home message as you're start going to all these holiday parties, remember that even though it's not the holidays all year long, you're still the host of the Social 5 party. And it's your job to make sure that all the guests are mingling and talking okay. So make sure everybody has a drink and a snack and that they have someone to talk to. So
That's perfect.
All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys. We'll see you soon.